What is up, Scar Knight, bringing you a new, well, I'm not sure what to call this thing. It's more like theory analyzing update for you guys right before the release of Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'm recording this on Thursday, the day before it's announced, and so far, like what I checked and what I've seen, there hasn't been anything released as of yet for trailers, because you would expect like a bombshell of loads and loads of stuff that would be revealed. I mean, I'm sure there is, because there is coverage on day one news of Pokemon Sun and Moon, because it is released to other places, but they're holding those spoilers for some other time. So I'm not looking at those, but I consider a spoiler something that ruins the plot of the of a movie or of a show or of a game that, you know, like I said, that reveals the plot of the very core of the story, I suppose, which is the same difference. But you know what I mean, like, you know how people back then would go like, oh, Luke Skywalker is Kylo Ren or something, but it turns out, don't worry, he wasn't. But like, if that was true, then that would be considered spoiler, you know. But in this part, like I said, we're gonna talk about the Ultra Beasts, theorizing and analyzing what may their purpose be. Now, I'm also gonna consider Type Null and Sylveili as an Ultra Beast as well, because I do believe that he is also made from Team Aether, or the Aether Foundation. I'm gonna keep calling them Team Aether by accident. Trust me on that. But hear me out. Now, what I've seen so far, when they introduced Type Null and they introduced Sylveili, it feels like Gladion is not only part of Team Skull, because he is the enforcer of their team, but he's also has connections to Aether Foundation. And people are also theorizing that he might be Absorption. We're not sure yet. Who knows? You guys might find out about this. But I feel like with their very first and prototype of all the Pokemon creations they could have made is Type Null and how it evolves, pretty much. And I'll get back to that, what it's based from. You guys already figured it out though. But pretty much, let's introduce all the Ultra Beasts as of right now. So, we already know there's UBO1, there's UBO2 Absorption, and there's also UBO2 Beauty, which is exclusive to Sun and Moon. Then there's UBO3 Lighting, I believe. And then there's UBO5 Gluttony. And there's also these Ultra Beasts that are in the picture but has not been revealed in the trailer. They might already been revealed in the games though. Well, no doubt, but I want to say one's exclusive to Sun and the other one's exclusive to Moon, which these guys could be UBO4. And like I said, I feel like Type Null and Sylveili might be the prototype to all of these. They won't be considered Ultra Beasts, but their own creation of Pokemon. The very first taste of alchemy. Now, if you want to look back at all the Pokemon that were made from something, pretty much, artificial Pokemon, you'll think of Mewtwo and you'll think of Genesect. And you might also think of Porygon as well. Team Rocket made Mewtwo just to make the strongest Pokemon in general. That's very, very basic and true. They just want to conquer the world, and by doing that, they gotta do it by force. Same goes for Team Plasma, I believe. I don't know. It's funny because Genesect is this month's Pokemon because it's been the year of legendary Pokemon, so every month they would release an event Pokemon, and Genesect's this month. So I find that kind of ironic, but I never tapped into the event of Genesect. I just know he was made from Team Plasma. Not really sure what the purpose is. My guess is just to conquer the world and just to become the new strongest Pokemon. It really didn't hit that, but you know, close enough, right? But then there's other artificial Pokemon like Porygon, maybe made from Team Rocket. I'm not really sure. Made from scientists just to make the first ever virtual Pokemon. This was before Mewtwo. And, you know, there's other Pokemon that was made from different things, like over the years, like Trubbish that was made because there's so many sewage garbage with radioactivity that made it go to life, you know, in the grand city of Unova, that made it into a Trubbish. And you know, Magnemites is super electrical charge Pokemon that got together. And you know, Clink was made only recently of 100 years. There's other Pokemon that are, you know, man-made or artificially made, unlike Pokemon that have been here since the beginning of time, like Relicanth and Kabuto and stuff like that. But it's interesting nonetheless. It makes you think, you know. So, yeah, you would think that all these Ultra Beasts would have a purpose. And it's not as generic as, oh, we just want the strongest Pokemon just because. But I believe the reasoning is it shows in Type Null, and it shows in these Ultra Beasts, what could be Ultra Beast number 4. But I believe the reasoning is, since a lot of people were theorizing that Type Null was based to take down Arceus because he has like the little ring, but instead of being around the waist like Arceus would have, it's around his head, you know. And once he evolves into Savioli, you know, he takes the helmet off, and that was supposed to reduce his speed just in case he can't control it. You know, similar to Mewtwo's armor, you know. He took it off. The whole reason he put it on in the first place was to learn and control his powers. Once he took it off, he was able to master it pretty much. That's why he got even stronger, which makes perfect sense. But you know, the reasoning might be because he couldn't control, or he may not have handled it well enough. But until he's a Savioli, you know, he trusts his trainer, and then he really taps into his inner true Pokemon. And he might not be considered an Ultra Beast because, you know, he's made from different Pokemon body parts, you know. But another reason why Type Null and Savioli is based upon Arceus is because, based on the fact that his ability, depending of what item he's holding, he'll turn into a different type, you know. And he has this move that, depending on that item, also changes the type. So I forget what the item is. You'll probably see it on the thing. So that's the thing about Savioli, pretty much, is that he has all these features that Arceus represents. So the understanding that I have is, so like, these Ultra Beasts are meant to overthrow these legendary Pokemon, just to show that, okay, we're gonna make more Pokemon that are stronger than regular Pokemon. Not only that, we're gonna make them stronger than these legendaries. But the thing is, I feel like they have a more focal point to it. I feel like they have a specific thing where they want to take down specific legendary Pokemon with these specific Ultra Beasts that they have. Now what I mean by that, because I know that doesn't make sense all that much, but what I mean is, like, just for an analogy's sake, just to say that, similar to, you know, I want you to follow me so I could do this specific track, and it's only gonna work if you follow me, and, you know, in this tunnel, and then there you go. So the way I said it doesn't really make sense, but what I mean by that is, you know, you could beat water with sponge, and you could beat a lawnmower with grass. It has to be very generic, but they look over these matters of what they know about the Pokemon, and they use it against them, you know, just like Superman and Kryptonite, you know. So it makes it so if you follow me on this trap, as long as you pass this room, you're gonna get caught, and you're gonna fall for my trap. Does that make sense? So with Savioli, it's different, you know, as a prototype, different body parts, like I already mentioned before, and they feel like they could do it better. But with these Ultra Beasts, they have certain qualities to them that could turn the legendary Pokemon against them. So it's mostly against Solgaleo and Lunala, but The thing is, it's a matter of what they know about them, you know. So Solgaleo is obviously powered by the sun, and he's like the sun destroyer or something like that. And Lunala always benefits the moon. So, you know, if they know that they always control one or the other, they're gonna try to take that away from them. They're gonna use, like, you know, if I had to go against Solgaleo and I had to make a Pokemon up, I would make them out of solar panels or something like that. That's what I think is happening, because this picture right here with the potential Ultra Beast number 4, they have a quality to them where he's like, I'm looking at this guy right here. He has like a very wall more like feel to it, where it just reminds me of a Yu-Gi-Oh character. If you shoot at it, it's like the shape of a star, so it's able to tank that hit, and it's just able to just draw everything back, and as if nothing happened. And that gap between his face, it makes it feels like all that energy is just going in there, and he's gonna get powered by it. You know how Team Rocket, and this is more about the analogy that I tried to go for earlier, but I failed to do. You know how Pikachu always ruins Team Rocket's plans? Team Rocket will always have a machine at one point, or some weaponry that will absorb his electricity. I feel like that's the power that Aether Foundation is going to use against all these two legendary Pokemon, because their focus point obviously is Solgaleo and Lunala of this game, but I feel like the outer broad perspective is they're after just overthrowing legendary Pokemon like Arceus. Maybe potentially after game they're going to go take down Zygarde, who knows. But at this point, we're going to keep it small, and we're going to say as simple as that. They're going to try to use that power in against them. So if UBO 4, and it does look like it could just make everything dark or something like that, that Lunala, since it benefits the moon, that this Ultra Beast could potentially just make sure that the moon is not going to be lighting or anything on Lunala. We're going to try to take that away and cut it off. So UBO 2, since his name is Absorption, maybe he has the power of the sun as well, and he try to make it tenfold and make it so he'll fight against Solgaleo. Because as we saw, UBO 2 Absorption and Beauty fight against Tapu Koko. I'm not really sure what UBO 2 Beauty has that could destroy Lunala or take it down or whatever, but it's interesting nonetheless. UBO 1 is probably the most basic as it is. I'm not sure what it could do against anything. UBO 2, as I explained. UBO 3 lighting feels like, you know, it has something to do with light. Obviously it could either maybe decrease it or make it increased. I'm not really sure. UBO 4 I can't explain. UBO 5 Gluttony is an interesting one because it looks like a tank pretty much that could just take any hit, and it looks like they could take defense and turn it into offense. But that's my theory right there. I feel like, you know, that some parts might have been obvious, but I feel like I put some points out there that people hasn't thought of. But I was trying to find Solgaleo in this on my phone, and I just been introduced to all these Pokemon. You might have heard my reactions just now, but what? Hello? Okay. Oh my gosh. It's crazy, like, just all the reactions to it. So, I'll give you a warning right now, just in case you do consider that it is spoilery, then I would encourage you to click on this link. It'll take you to this other series that I would highly encourage you to watch. So, if not, I'll put, like, you guys could watch here the introduction of all the new Pokemon that I found on my phone, pretty much. And then afterwards, if you guys want, either subscribe or click the link on the description to watch that series, just in case you're new. But if not, then you could freely, well, you could do both. You know, you could subscribe and watch the thing. But anyway, you got 5 seconds to click out. So 2, 1. Alright, so the new Pokemon that I would like to introduce, because besides the starters, as we already know, I see here Pikipek's evolution, which the first evolution is Trumbeak, which is kind of like a weird goose type of Pokemon. And it has Keen Eye, Skill Link, and Pickup as its ability. I had no idea it was going to go in this direction, because Pikipek looks more like either a cardinal or just a woodpecker. I mean, I guess, to be fair, it still has the long nose or whatever, but I didn't know that it was going to go that direction. And absolutely, I did not think about the following evolution after that. It evolves into Toucanon, which is straight up a toucan, so they just threw out the woodpecker thing out the window, but Keen Eye, Skill Link, and Sheer Force. So it's all out power. It has attack of 120, or maybe that's HP, I can't really tell. I think that's attack. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's attack. Oh my gosh. It's a powerhouse, but it looks like that is really, really slow. So very interesting nonetheless that they just, because I thought what they were gonna do is gonna look like it would be basically like a Pidgeot Swalo feel to it, where Pikipek's final evolution would all out be red and black and white and have long hair similar to Talonflame, only, you know, kind of clean cut and stuff. So very interesting nonetheless. And then the next Pokemon I want to introduce is Crabrawler's evolution, which is Crabominable. My gosh, Crabominable, which is a hairy version of this crab. Ice fighting type. Very interesting. This is the first time of me looking at this, by the way, besides my reactions when I was scrolling through trying to find Solgaleo. Hyper Cutter, Iron Fist, Anger Point. So if you're able to crit this Pokemon, it's gonna have his attack the highest thing, and it's stronger than Toucanon. 132 attack. His defenses and his speed is abysmal. Pardon the pun there. But I didn't know they were going that direction. You know, I kind of forget that you know, it's a crab, and I kind of just always affiliate them with water. But it's interesting nonetheless. And I see the Pokemon here that was introduced into the trading card box deck that we were deciphering whether it's water poison or water grass, but it turns out it is water poison water, that is Morena. And adds the ability Merciless, Limber, and Regenerate. I'm not really sure what Merciless is, and the stats are pretty basic, so I'm not really too, like, you know, I'm not really too, like, oh no, basically. So I look more like the evolutions, and the evolution to this is Toxapex. Merciless, Limber, and Regenerator still. It looks like a much more bigger version, and it looks like a straight up dome for the Justice League, you know, their villains or something like that. But it looks like a defensive wall, so it'll be interesting to see in the meta game, because obviously there's going to be Toxic Spike Caesar, and he might have like a Rocky Helmet or something like that, and he'll be a straight up wall, and he'll be of use a lot, I could tell, because, you know, fairy types are overpowered, and they're going to definitely use this to their advantage. Regenerator especially, oh my gosh. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. And this Pokemon I actually like a lot. Not really this one in particular, but the evolution of this is crazy. Dewpider. It's a water bug type, has water bubble? Are those the same thing? Is that the same ability? Water bubble and water absorb. Dewpider is a basic Pokemon, of course, because it's a bug type. Its evolution is amazing. It is Arachnoquid. That is cool. Like, I like the whole pollen things on these little corners of the thing. Arachnoquid. Water bubble, water absorb, water bug type. And its stats, it looks like it favors more on the special defensive side. Is that right? Hang on. Let me see. is this special defensive. That's like his highest stat. It is. His special defensive side is the heaviest out of the whole thing so far. Besides, besides wishy-washy, because his powers are just as strong and Toxapex. But Arachnoquid, surprisingly, highest stat is his defenses. So it might just be a opposite of the other one. So interesting nonetheless. And there's also Morlul evolution. That's always hard to say. It looks like a bigger version of Toad. Like if he has a bigger head. Shinotic, I think that's how you say it. I'm not really sure. Illuminate, Effect Spore, and Rain Dish is still Grass Fairy type. And it looks like it's more defensive and it's a special attacker. Really slow. So not really surprised there. But the next evolution is Salandit, with the evolution being Salazzle. It looks like a more sleek. It looks feminine to me. I'm not gonna lie, but that's okay. It's still gender neutral. Corrosion, Oblivious, still Poison Fire type, and it has a special attacking nature, and it's pretty quick. It's really fast, which is what I expect this Pokemon to be, because it kind of, you know, I get like a weasel vibe, like almost kangaroo-like about it, because the way it's standing, it looks like it's just ready to run. Like if a leopard was standing up, that's what it would look like, pretty much. So yeah, it's really cool though. I really like it. But the next Pokemon I would like to introduce is Wimpod's evolution. See, I knew that Wimpod was gonna be like those type of Pokemon that, you know, of course it will have the ability Wimp Out, and I knew it was gonna be those bugs that scurries away, and eventually it would have an evolution that would retaliate. And I knew that it was gonna be a monster. Look at this thing, Golisopod. And it has emergency exit, so I'm guessing like just in case it gets into too much of deep of a beating, it's gonna, you know, use this emergency exit once it gets in the red or something like that. But in the meantime, he's gonna try to kill you. Just like the looks of this. This definitely looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Bug Water type. It's both attack and special attack is a lot, but it's mostly special attack. It's really slow though, so you'll be able to get a hit on before he kills you. So very, you know, good enough, but that's gonna be crazy nonetheless. So the next Pokemon, and it looks like Komala is not gonna have an evolution, which is surprising. Not surprising about Togedemaru. I'm kind of more surprised that it doesn't have an English name, because it's gonna be hard to pronounce. But the next Pokemon is Delmise, which is kind of like an anchor in a way. Yep, it definitely looks like an anchor. It has the Steelworker ability with Ghost and Grass. Maybe the only reason it's grass is because of the algae. You know, once it gets underwater, I just think of Titanic when I think of that. Like all the moss grows, and it's definitely, well, its attack, you know, it's actually good all around Pokemon. 131 attack, 100 special attack, 86 defense, 90 defense. You would think that it would be much more, you know, come to think of it, Ghost Grass type. It says Steelworker as the ability, yet it's not Steel type. Not really sure what the ability entails, but it's really slow, which is alright. But, you know, it's Rusted Metal, so I'm kind of confused of why isn't it like Ghost Steel type, just like, you know, the other one, but oh well. And we already know about the Tapus. This is the most amazing thing to me. Cosmog definitely does have a very vital role to all this. There's a reason why he's the rarest Pokemon in Unova, or not Unova, not Unova, Alola, sorry. Because, as we already know, it has Unaware, and it has the Psychic type. And, you know, not much about its stats, but it has an evolution, which is Cosmoium, and it evolves into this. Now, I'm gonna wait right here, just in case, you know, I wanna have you guys kind of think of what it may be, you know? I'm not really sure. But, yeah, I'm just gonna sit right here and just make you think. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So Cosmoium, just in case it doesn't look familiar to you, would either evolve depending on the gender. If it's male, it's gonna evolve into a Solgaleo, and if it's female, it'll evolve into Lunala and stuff, which is beyond crazy because there has never been an evolution that involves a legendary Pokemon as far as I know, besides Mega Evolution, besides maybe possibly Fiona and Manaphy. That is beyond crazy. And there's also all these Ultra Beasts that has their own name now. So UBO1, as I explained in the video earlier, its real name is now Nihiligo with Beast Boost. Rock Poison type. So maybe it is based off of jellyfish. I don't know why they discourage having jellyfish, just water thunder. That only makes sense to me. It has a lot of HP and its defenses are through the roof, so it's a very defensive Pokemon, clearly. UBO2 Absorption, his name is Buzzwole. It has Beast Boost ability as well, with Bug Fighting, a lot of offense, and a lot of HP to it. Otherwise, its defensive isn't all that high. And then UBO2 Beauty is Ferozema, which is also Beast Boost, Bug Fighting type, really high on attack and special attack, I believe, really fast as well. So it's a Glass Canning because the defenses are pretty low. UBO3 Lighting? I think that's his name, right? Xurkitree, which is the, like I said, lighting, so Beast Boost electric type. So I don't know why it's Xurkitree, that's kind of interesting name. Very high in special attack, otherwise all around on its stats. And then the other, the Pokemon that was on the other side, UBO4, possibly Celesteela, Beast Boost, Steel, and Flying type. And very high stats. It's just really slow and it doesn't really have HP over 100, but it's still at 97, which is still pretty good. And it might be the best all-around one as far as I've seen. And there's Kartana, which is the other UBO4 one that I kind of surrounded my theory from. Kartana is full Beast Boost ability, Grass Steel type, which is a bit odd to me. So it's definitely like a Ferrothorn feel to it, except that his stats, I think it's attack and defensive. It's mostly physical and more than special, but it's still fast nonetheless. Unless I'm looking at the stats wrong, I don't really know. But Guzzlord is the next Pokemon. He is UBO5 Gluttony, Beast Boost ability, Dark Dragon type. A lot of HP. I think I'm looking at the stats correctly. His defenses aren't that high. You would expect them to be. He's like a Hydreigon in a way, except not really. I don't know what they'll be considered when it comes to that. And this is the Pokemon that we saw on the other cover thing, Necrozma. And it has like gems in his arms, and this is the first time I see him without looking at that poster. Necrozma has Prism Armor, so that's interesting because I mentioned the word Prism. I knew that was going to be an important word. Prism Armor with Psychic, it's a Psychic type. 97 health, 107 attack, 101 defense, 127 special attack, 89 special defense, and 79 speed. These Pokemon so far, most of them are pretty slow, well, slower than what I would be used to, but Margiana is right after that, and then Marshadow, which is a Technician fighting Ghost type. I'm not sure if Marshadow actually is affiliated with Margiana or if it's just the opposite, but it's interesting nonetheless. 125 health or attack, 80 defense, 90 special attack, 90 defense, and 125 speed. So those are all the Pokemon. I'm kind of curious to see if there's anything else about something. I just don't want to get spoiled with the Elite Four and the Champion. That's my version of spoilery, or the main plots. But that's what I don't want happening. Hopefully that makes sense. otherwise, I like to find out about the Pokemon because I like considering what my team might be. So that's just me though. Otherwise, let's look at the Alola Pokemon forms. So, as far as I see, I don't see anything new. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There's a Alolan Geodude, a rock electric type. He has eyebrows. He looks like Bert. Geodude, Magnet Pulse, sturdy, and galvanized. So, and there's an Alolan Growler. This is what it looks like. Oh my gosh, look at Golem. Look at Golem. This is the first time I'm seeing this. That's cool. I don't know what the heck that is. It looks like one of those clippers. Either that or it's a charge. Rock electric type. What is this supposed to be? What does galvanize mean? I'm not really sure. It looks like he's ready to plug in my phone. I don't even know. That's interesting. Alright, and those are all the Alolan forms. So that's the newest one right there, guys. That's about it when it comes to it. We already introduced all these Alolan Pokemon forms. I really, you know, the only thing I regret when it comes to these videos is that I don't do face cam. You guys never seen my face yet. And maybe in the future, you know, maybe when 8th generation comes around, I'll actually show the reactions to it, because that's something I always wanted to do. I just never gotten around to it because you never seen me before, you know. It'll be kind of weird that I just decided to do face cam and do these reactions. But that's like the only thing that I kind of regret on the whole thing. But as far as I know, tell me what you think about all these, and thank you for watching this part. If you're watching this in the future, you might be laughing at all the speculations. I kind of predicted on a few things with the gym leaders. That's probably my most viewed video thus far. So just to refresh, because this video is pushing up on the limit, the gyms that I predicted, if there are any gyms, and if it's not gyms, I'll just associate these with the trial captains, or you know, for the kahunas. If they add up an 8 or 7, I'm not really sure, but I said normal type, water type, fire type, fighting type, electric type, ghost type, grass type, and the final one would be ice type. Those are my predictions for the gyms trial captains, if you want to call it. I believe so far as I know, normal type is correct. I didn't put rock type for a kahuna, and electric type is until afterwards, and I don't know if that would be considered with Sophocles or not. That is in the right place though, that in that area when I predicted it. But other than that, that's as far as what everything I predicted. Most stuff I got wrong, like Margiana being 6th gen, ready for Pokemon Z. Other stuff I've been wrong about was the fact that, what else? I don't remember. But, the islands were correct, but that was more because of Game Explain. That's pretty much all I could think of, really. Otherwise, all the other stuff was speculation. But like I said, if you're watching this in the future, then good on you for watching this video to support me or whatever. Just you know, really check up on how I did things in Sun and Moon. I'm sure it's much better in the future. You know, maybe I'll do face cam, maybe I'll actually do reactions for the 8th gen. But I'll be more active around that time, and I'll probably be more hyped. But it's better that I post this video today rather than when the day comes out, or when the game comes out, because you're gonna get spammed on the YouTube homepage, I'm sure, with all these people marathoning Sun and Moon. But maybe I'll join the marathon for the 8th generation. As of right now, thanks for watching the Sun and Moon updates. I'm treating this like a series because it basically kind of is one, but this is where it ends. And thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more, we got Donkey Kong 64 that just came back yesterday, and we also got ourselves Legend of Zelda that's continuing, is getting good, and we also soon will have the comeback of Emerald Legends, which is not really a comeback, but it's a continuation of Pokemon Emerald nonetheless, and it has a lot to do with legendary Pokemon, of course. That's a series on its own, and hopefully I could get around to doing Frontier Fridays before the year ends. And there we go. That's all the series besides Leaf Green, Randomizer, Nuzlocke, which is the series that I link you to. So if you haven't clicked on it, just to avoid spoilers, click on the link in the description to look at the playlist. It's a really good series. It's one of my most entertaining ones, and it really has that drawing factor where who knows when my Pokemon will die, and who knows if I'm gonna win or not, and what strategies would I use. So yeah, enjoy all that. Press the like button if you enjoyed. If not, subscribe if you're new here. And that would be it. You've been scarred by the night. I'm out!